Alright, we're looking at some basic rules for addition and subtraction. Now I have two-digit numbers here, a 36 and a 28, and you notice how they line up, one's underneath the other. I think that's the easiest way to do these problems. Now, if we have 36 plus 28, the first thing you want to do is start with the place furthest to the right, which in this case would be the ones place, the 6 and the 8. And we're just going to add those up. 6 and 8 is 14, so I only write the 4 down right underneath where the 6 and 8 go, and with that 1 I'm going to carry that up here in my tens place. So now I add 1, 3, and 2. So 1 plus 3 would be 4, and then 2 more would be 6, so we get 64. So if you happen to see a problem that looks like this, 136 plus 13, a lot of people can do this in their head, and if you can do that, that's pretty good. But you might want to write these out. The bigger the numbers get, the harder it is to do them mentally. You might want to write it out just so you can see it, one number underneath the other. So if we have 136 plus 13, 6 and 3 is going to be 9, and then you're left with 3 and 1 is 4. We didn't have to carry anything here, so we get the 4 there, and then finally the 1 for 149. Like I said, if you could do it mentally, that's okay too. It's a little bit easier when you're talking about carrying numbers and things like that to line them up one number underneath the other. Alright, so now I have 49 minus 25. This is subtraction, but the same rules apply. I work with the number on the right first, the ones place. 9 minus 5 is 4. And I have 4 minus 2, that's 2. So we get 24. This one's a little bit bigger, and there's a little bit more complication with this one. 137 minus 89. Well, we can't do 7 minus 9. If you had $7, you can't pay for something that costs $9. So what you have to do is borrow from the 3 here. So remember, when you borrow, you got to change this number to 1 below, so 3 becomes a 2, and I can carry a 1 now over here and make this number 17. 17 minus 9 is 8. And now we have 2 minus 8. Again, I can't do that. It's just not allowed. I'd love to be able to pay for things that cost $8 with my $2, but I guess that's not the way it works. So I make that 1 a 0, and I'm going to add a 1 up there. So I have 12 minus 8 is 4, and that's 48. You can always, on these bigger problems, estimate as a way to check to make sure you did okay. So I would estimate this number to be 140, right? 137 is pretty close, and 140 it's an easy number to work with because it ends with a 0. And the closest number that ends with a 0 on this one would be 90. So 140 minus 90, that's 50. And this is pretty close. 48 is pretty close to 50. One more problem, then we're out of here. And it says Marty has saved $1,000 and wants to buy a mountain bike that costs $337 after taxes. How much money will he have left after he buys the bike? Now, word problems are going to happen again and again, and we can try to hide and run away from them all we want, but that's how math is. That's what we want to learn about in real life is how to apply math in real life. So whenever you're working with somebody who has a certain amount of money and they're buying something, what are you doing with your money? You're having your money taken away from you. And when you take away, that means you're subtracting. It's always helpful to find out what operation you need to do, because from there, usually you're just applying the numbers that are in the problem. So in this problem, we are subtracting, and the numbers are 1,000. That's what he starts with. And 337, what he pays. We can't do 0 minus 7, so we have to borrow. We can't borrow from this 0. We can't borrow from this 0. So we have to go all the way over here to our thousands place. Make that a 0. And if you're familiar with this, a little shortcut, whenever you have a lot of zeros like this, make everything a 9 and make your last number a 10. It'll save you the steps of borrowing down the road. So this becomes 10 minus 7, and it's a 3. 9 minus 3 is 6. And again, 9 minus 3 is 6. And we don't have a thousands place anymore because we borrowed from that. So he has $663 left.